An interview that I'm calling Mystic Chats. Um, Today, I am speaking with Tarot by Bronx. How about you let me know what your work is all about, um, and then we'll start off with the questions after that.
Cool. So, yes, I am known as Tarot by Bronx, and I am mostly known for my YouTube videos where I do monthly zodiac readings. So, I will do each of the 12 zodiac signs, messages through tarot, and I'll give advice, guidance for love, career, whatever people are needing to hear that month. And I also do other types of messages on other platforms like Twitter or TikTok or Instagram, where I just deliver advice, not always using the cards. And so that is mainly what I do. Is I'm basically like a translator, but I also focus in on the specific zodiac signs to deliver the messages.
I was thinking that we could start out talking about where you are at currently, and then we could talk about how you got to the place that you are at today, and then we'll end with questions about your future goals and what you see yourself doing.
I am a verified content creator on Twitter. I have over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and currently growing. I would say YouTube and my Patreon are my main sources of income, my biggest platforms as of now for like making this a full-time job. So that is where I am currently.
So my first question is about how you manage your day to day. Like, how do you set up? Do you set a specific day for readings? Do you set a specific day for doing video edits? Like, do you take days where that's like your off day from work? Because this is your job, right?
Yeah, it is a full-time job. So it's definitely been like a trial and error process for me over the last few years of like what works for me, because I'm always busy. Like, it's hard for me to like take things out. So it's more so me integrating rest in to the busyness versus like making my schedule less busy, because it's nearly impossible to do so.
How do you prepare for a reading before you've conducted the message, and how do you stay positive?
Yes. So when I first started doing readings, I was extremely tired and exhausted afterwards. Like, I was just so drained energetically. And so, I eventually learned that you need to ground yourself when you're doing your spiritual work or you're a reader, whatever. You always need to ground yourself, protect yourself. So I will always, like, I have crystals right here, like, to keep the energy grounded. I have my sprays and stuff like that I make now. I used to just buy them before. And so I just will spray around me, and I will, whatever sign I'm doing, or if I'm reading for somebody, I will spray first, and then I will like kind of like talk to my cards. Like, I'll do like a little something like, okay, tap me into the energy of this sign or this person.
How challenging is it to keep an audience engaged? Because your audience is basically where you get your income, right? So how do you come up with new ideas for content?
Sometimes it's like tricky, sometimes it's not. Like, I think having an audience wasn't the hard part, but it's like when I get a little bit lost for inspiration, it's like I have to get into the audience, like I have to interact with you guys more and ask you guys, okay, what do you want to see more from me? And that'll like spark some ideas for me. And then I also now have like a marketing manager.
So now I'm gonna ask more questions about the past and like how you got into today. The first one being, how did you first come into contact with esoteric practices? Did it begin with tarot, or was astrology the starting point?
Astrology was definitely the starting point. Ever since I was little, like my grandpa, he used to bring the newspaper home, and it always had like zodiac reads in it, and I was so fascinated with it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to read like what was my horoscope say today. When I got to be older, like an adult, when I turned 21 is when I really got into tarot because I seen it on YouTube. Like I seen people doing pick a cards and stuff like that, and like basically video form horoscopes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool because I love horoscopes. I always read horoscopes ever since I was little. And I was like, the fact that you could do it in a video form was so different. And I was like, that is like, I don't know, I was just excited and lit up by that.
Was there a specific reason why you were interested in tarot?
Um, I wish I knew specifically what it was about the cards. It's just, you know what, like, this goes like back to a lot, like the signs were always there when I was younger. Like I always was really excited about card tricks, and I used to like love magic tricks and like card games and stuff like that. Like something about the cards, like holding them or shuffling them was very fascinating.
So now we're going to move into the questions about the future. So what are the future projects that you're working on, and which project are you most excited about?
My future projects, definitely want to work on newsletters. I want to work on getting a storefront, and I'm going to continue working on different tarot decks that I want to do. So it's more so just like expansion upon what I have right now. It's nothing like fully different. It's just like being able to reach more people, especially like physically.
That's really awesome. So now we are up to the final two questions. So these are kind of my wrap-up questions. Do you have any advice for someone just starting out on the same path as you?
Yeah, my advice is to be yourself and to always have good intentions for what you're doing.
And then my last question is, so I looked on your YouTube channel and I realized that you've been making videos since 2017. And part of your bio, it says that you're here to spread light and positivity through tarot. So my question is, how will you continue to fulfill your effort to spread light and positivity through tarot?
Very good question. I definitely will do that by making sure people hear the truth at all costs. My channel is very different from many other readers because I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to warp the cards' messages into being something that keeps people addicted and codependent. I love my supporters who are always there and come back, but my intention is never to keep people hooked, because they're like so obsessive about exes, and the goal is to heal so you can move on, and of course I want to be people's reader forever, but it's not healthy the way some people get very attached to the readings. And so by making sure I'm always honest and I'm authentic and real, and I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, so I make sure that you move on and you're not like in a really, really karmic horrible cycle, is just tell the truth and in a nice way, as nice as I can possibly do it, and give you life advice so you can actually heal. That's how I will continue.
Well, thank you so much, Bronx, for spending time with me today, talking about all your work and all your hopes and dreams for all the work that you do. I'm very grateful to have spent this time with you, learning about how you got to the place that you are and also where you're going.